You don't have to spend a ton of cash to get started out in 3D printing. If you know where to look, there's plenty of good, cheap, entry-level options that'll get you started. In this video, we break down the top 3 cheap 3D printers on the market this year, based on performance and situations they'll be used in. So whether you're looking for the best cheap FDM printer for good quality general prints, or a cheap resin 3D printer that'll give you greater print detail, we'll have an option for you. So if you're interested in finding out which 3D printer will be best for you, stay tuned. All the links to find the best prices on all the products mentioned in this video will be in the description below. The products mentioned in this video are in no exact order, so be sure to stay tuned till the end so you don't miss anything. We'll start with the Creality Ender 3 Pro, our choice for best cheap FDM 3D printer. The Creality Ender 3 Pro 3D printer is equipped with wider Y-axis mounts, a more reliable power supply, and a thermal runaway protection function that ensures a safer working environment. And it's one of the best cheap FDM 3D printers. For some time, the Ender 3 has been the go-to 3D printer for hobbyists. Now Creality has released the Ender 3 Pro with several upgrades to make it an even better and more precise machine that will appeal to both beginners and experienced hobbyists alike. The Ender 3 Pro comes disassembled and will take roughly an hour to set up. Accessories include a scraper for removing prints from the build surface, some filament cutters, a micro SD card with a USB adapter, some spare parts, a set of hex wrenches, and about 200 grams of white filament. Basically everything you need to assemble the printer and complete your first test print. The micro SD card has some test files and a video walkthrough of how to assemble the printer, which comes in very handy. After assembly and bed leveling, this printer produces very high quality precise prints without the need for any further upgrades or tinkering. The magnetic flexible build surface makes it easy to remove finished prints even when using difficult filaments like PETG, which is notorious for sticking to the print surface. The textured surface of the Ender 3 Pro's build platform eliminates the need to use tape, glue sticks, or other adhesives when printing filaments that don't like to stick, and when you want to remove them, the print should easily pop right off. The only real negative dimension is the assembly process, and it's really not a negative, it's more of a trade-off. Other printers come partially assembled, but with that often comes a significant increase in cost. The Creality Ender 3 Pro is a great FDM 3D printer for hobbyists who prefer precision and reliability over volume, and will deliver great results and great value at a budget price. Now we'll take a look at the QIDI Tech X Pro, our choice for best overall cheap 3D printer. The QIDI Tech X Pro is an FDM 3D printer aimed at the hobbyist and semi-professional market, and offers dual extrusion through a dual nozzle system that's capable of printing PLA, ABS, and PETG. This 3D printer is built out of aluminum. There's a USB port on the right side of the printer that lets you print directly from a thumb drive as opposed to the traditional SD card, and this printer features a 4.3-inch touchscreen navigation screen for all its control options. The top and sides are covered by clear panels that attach magnetically and can easily be removed for access to the interior or for increased cooling. The illuminated printer interior features a 230 by 150 by 150 mm print area, and the build plate is removable, magnetic, and bendable, which makes removing finished prints much easier. To mount filament, there are 2 spool holders that screw into the back of the printer and feed up to the print head, which reveals what makes the X Pro so special, and that's the dual extruders that will let you print in 2 colors without changing filament spools. Encircling the extruders are turbo fans that ensure proper, consistent cooling, and all the wiring is enclosed in guides or chains, and the filament is fed to the extruders in guide tubes, making for a neat, clean appearance. The enclosed print space also contributes to maintaining a consistent temperature for cooling at the same rate, which also helps achieve a higher print quality. The print speed is up to 100 mm per second, which is considerably fast, and you get a layer resolution between 100 to 500 microns on the Z-axis, which is impressive for a budget machine. The QIDI Tech X Pro is a good 3D printer that offers the convenience of being able to print in 2 colors and has a lot of versatility when it comes to connectivity and filament types, and its speed and layer resolution alone make it a great overall choice. Last, we'll be looking at the ANYCUBIC Photon Mono, our choice for best cheap resin 3D printer. The ANYCUBIC Photon Mono is an SLA printer that gives you great print detail, fast print time, and easy-to-use software, making it one of the best cheap resin printers out there. The build quality of this printer is pretty good, and unlike the Creality Ender 3 Pro, it comes to you pretty much pre-assembled. All you have to do is slide the build plate down to its housing. You'll get some basic accessories like resin filters, face masks, and gloves, a metal scraper, and some Allen wrenches, and the resin tray has a nice little cutout for you to pour in the resin easily, and has an all-metallic build surface with a metal build plate. The Photon Mono produces great detail, and it does it all without a lot of moving parts or excessive noise. The printer is fanless as there's no real heat being generated, and the only sound you'll hear is the build plate moving up and down. While it's operating, the LCD screen will keep you up to date with the information during your prints, like print speed, exposure time, and more. The UV light source is capable of curing each layer with only 1.5 seconds of exposure, and it makes the most out of its 33-watt UV light source by containing it and directing the light where it needs to go without any leakage. And to keep the external UV light away from your print while it's in progress, a transparent cover sits on top of the entire printer assembly to block out 99.95% of ultraviolet rays to ensure better prints and less waste. If you're looking for a resin 3D printer that will give you incredible detail, Or if you're new to 3D printing and want something that you can work with straight out of the box, the ANYCUBIC Photon Mono would be an excellent choice for you. Alright guys, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and leave a like. If you're new to the channel and you like the video, consider subscribing. We do our best to keep you up to date with the best products on the market right now. So if you want to stay current regarding the best gear, make sure to hit that subscribe button.